Hi Leo, my ascendant brothers and sisters, welcome to your week ahead taroscope with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. So quick note, all of my tarot readings are for your sun, moon and ascendant sign. So whether you're a sun, moon or rising Leo, this is for you in some way, shape or form. I always advise that you watch all three of your videos to get a more complete picture of how this is going to speak to you and how it shows up in your life, right? And also, I always advise you to look at these and take them in that regard. Like, how does it work for you? If it does, great. If it doesn't, fair enough. For those of you that are continued subbies, thank you so much. You know you have my heart. For those of you that are new to the channel, thank you so much for being here. Please don't forget to like, share, and if you should so choose and it resonates, hit that subscribe button. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise and they help us all on our paths to our highest vibrational good. So for our key to the week, we have the Temperance card. This week, it's really going to be about where you put in your mind, your energy, your thought, and your intention. Remember the Chariot card. Remember the Temperance card is all about alignment, but it's also about bringing things back into balance. And one of the reasons we get out of balance is when we're trying to do things or trying to work on things that we have no control over. So this week, I actually feel like we're going to be bringing our focus back to ourselves. I say ourselves because, as many of you know, I am an ascendant Leo. I'm very proud of that fact, obviously. Quick announcement, I have a new channel. It's called ReyLaxation. If you want to check it out, it's literally dedicated solely to meditations and guided visualizations, and that is it. So there's a link for that in the description box below. For your actions and options this week, you have the 9 of Pentacles. This is about really giving yourself the best experience that you can possibly have, right? No matter what you're experiencing at the moment. So here in the UK, we are currently basically in lockdown. And this 9 of Pentacles, as an example for myself, is basically telling me what can you control, and more importantly, how can you give yourself the best experience of where you are at this moment in time. In a lot of ways as well, this week is going to be a week where you're probably working quite hard, Leo. There's probably a lot going on behind the scenes. There's probably a lot that you are expected to do or needing to do. The other thing with that 9 of Pentacles as well, it has that very sort of Venusian kind of energy about it. So this is a week really to bring yourself not only back into balance, but bring yourself more into alignment with what feels right for you and how you can give yourself the best experience that you can, regardless of what your current situation might be. So for your communications and conversations, you have the 3 of Cups. This is beautiful, right? So there's a lot here. Now, for some of you, this could be connecting or contacting with spiritual friends, gurus, people that you consider mentors in some way, shape or form. There could be a lot of really good communication in that regard. Now, remember that Mercury is going retrograde this week and it's going to be taking place in the sign of Aquarius. So in a lot of ways, whatever, you know, sign your sign or whatever sign Leo house rather Leo falls in for you, this is happening at the opposite end of the zodiac in some way, shape or form. So partnerships, connections, collaborations, all of these things are going to be subject to change and looking, you know, you're going to have to really look at them this week. What I like about the 3 of Cups though, it's always easy communication. It's fun, it's vibrant, and ultimately it's very communicative. This comes underneath that Temperance card, which means this week you're going to actually be able to bring yourself into alignment with the things that you really need to do and the things that you really want to do. You're going to find a way to bridge the gap between the two, all right? Which is, you know, this is great. For those of you that work for somebody else, an opportunity could come up this week that had maybe come up previously. What I will say to you is if this is some sort of second chance that is coming up now, it's probably not going to come again. And the reason I say that is because a lot of the opportunities that are shaping up for people now will come again at a later date. But for you, Leo, I kind of feel like this is already that sort of second, maybe even third time, you know, lucky kind of energy. So if that is the case, you do have to decide this week, you know, and obviously take into account the retrograde. Don't stop living because of it though. If we stopped living because planets went retrograde, we would literally spend our whole lives doing nothing. And for your For those of you that are business owners, solopreneurs, entrepreneurs, this is great, right? Again, there's some sort of mentor or somebody that you can learn from. Maybe somebody that just teaches you by being the example of who they truly are. This is great because in a lot of ways you're getting new information this week, or you're taking some sort of step forward. But it's in a way that actually feels like fun. So this is nice because even though you're going to be really busy this week, it kind of feels like the work isn't work. Do you know what I mean? There's no such thing as work that you enjoy, right? So if you're enjoying what you do, then it's not work, it's pleasure. And then for those of you that are retired or no longer working for any reason, this suggests to me as well, you're going to be thinking about what you can do for your leisure time. How can I pamper myself more? How can I, this one, funnily enough that this comes up, one of the things that I absolutely promised myself this year is that I would learn to find a work-life balance. 2020, I didn't have one, you know, it was just full steam ahead with everything. Whereas this year, I'm saying, no, you know what, I'm going to work at a pace and I'm going to make sure that I have some downtime or some chill time. And for those of you that are retired or retired or no longer working, I think this is, you know, this is the feeling that I get from it. This is what you're doing this week. And in a lot of ways, you know, when you really stop to take a pause, that's when the illumination or the understanding or the wisdom that comes from within can actually find you. For your money and materials, you have the Four of Pentacles. Not a bad card for money. It just means that it's stable. There's not going to be any increase this week, but there's not going to be any decrease this week, right? You have money and funds and finances to do all the things that you want to do. But, you know, like I said, there's no sharp increase, there's no decrease. One thing that I will say to you as well, though, this week it does look like you're going to start to focus on what you can do with money that you have saved, i.e., you know, buying a property, maybe investing. Under a Mercury retrograde, probably not the best time. There are better moments in this year that you can do that kind of thing. This would be a really good time to research, though, you know, places that you want to put your money, whether it's a pension or, you know, an investment, a portfolio, or a property that you want to buy, all of that sort of stuff. Do the research now throughout this Mercury retrograde period, and you'll be fine. I think if you try to actually step forward with it in this moment, probably going to get a bit sketchy. For your physical health and vitality, this would literally be your so there's a couple of ways that this one can show up. This would literally be your digestive system, your liver, and, you know, that sort of general region there. Now, I will say this to every sign. I'm not a medical professional or a financial professional. I can't give you that kind of advice. I just tell you what the energy is, and you have to work out how it speaks to you. And because I say an area of the body, it doesn't mean that you're absolutely going to have that wrong. It just means that if there is anything that arises, that's likely where it's going to be. All right. And then for your home and environment, this is you fortifying your castle in some way, shape or form. But for a select few of you, this is going to see you settling on a location. And I have said for a while now, there will be a lot of Leos moving. And I think this is where you're finally going to find, you know, maybe you're looking at a map and saying, right, wherever I point to, that's where we're going. That's just one way that this could play out. But I kind of feel that this week you're going to get really honed in on, that's where I'm going. That's where I'm ready to be. Exciting. For your love and relations, darling, you've got the Ace of Cups. This is beautiful. For those of you that are partnered and already in relationships, there is laughter, there is fun. Now, I'm going to be really honest with you as well. A lot of this could be kind of, you know, when you just absolutely bungle something. And even for those of you that are single as well, I get this feeling. I don't know if you've ever seen the film Hitch with Will Smith. You know, he's like this dating guru, and basically he takes this woman on a date and it just goes completely horribly wrong. And, you know, usually he's like this suave, smooth and sophisticated guy, but it just goes wrong from start to finish. And that is what you end up remembering and loving about people. It's not always the perfect, pretty polished bit. It's the things that you can laugh at, that you can look back and say, bloody hell, do you remember when? Like, you know, and I've got, oh my God. Yeah, there's a few in my history where I really tried to get it right and it just, yeah, it didn't. For those of you that are partnered, there's a lot of laughter here. You could also be making some plan for the future. There's a select few of you that do look like you're thinking about starting a family. The energy is definitely there for it. It really is. And I think if you approach the conversation this week, obviously you've got the Mercury retrograde to think about, but this is a time where you could really start to understand this week what your partner wants, what they actually want, what they envision for the long term of your relationship. And that's going to give you the understanding that you need to start making proper plans. Also, the three of Cups and the Ace of Cups, these are very birth/fertile cards. So, just be aware of that. And then for those of you that are single, yeah, you could be meeting, I don't know, I just get the sense that maybe you're interacting with someone and you're trying to play it cool, you're trying to be, a Leo, right? And it's just not going to come across. You could just end up being that really geeky, gawky sort of like, I tried to present all of this and it just came across as like, so yeah, I think this is going to be a good week for Leos, even with everything that's going on out there in the world. So with that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic week. Let me know in the comments how it shows up. Take care, and I'll see you soon.